Hi, and welcome to the altitudes video for the straight line topic in higher mathematics. Again, we're just going to look at one thing today. We're going to look at how to find the equation of an altitude from a given point in a triangle. Obviously, to do that, you'll need to understand what an altitude is and then be able to calculate it. Okay, so again, I'll just give you the equation, the explanation of what an altitude is. I'll let you have a try for a bit and then I'll go over it and then give you a note and another example that you can use. Okay, so an altitude is something within a triangle. So here, that leaves one point and hits the opposite side at right angles. Okay, so the dotted line we've got here is in the triangle ABC. It is the altitude from C. So it leaves C, it crosses the triangle, and it hits the opposite side at right angles. It is perpendicular to the opposite side. Okay, that is what an altitude is. I want you to pause the video and try and see if you can figure out how to calculate it. Okay, thank you. Now, again, looking for an altitude, we're looking for the equation of an altitude, we're looking for the equation of a straight line. Okay, so we know that somewhere down here, we're going to be using y minus b is equal to mx minus a. And we know for that, we need a gradient and we need a point. Okay, now for that dotted line, we do not know the gradient, but we do know that 4, 0 is a point on that line, so we don't need to worry about that. We've got the point. So to calculate this altitude, we are no longer looking at how to do the equation of a line. We know how to do that. We've got that set up. We're just really looking for this gradient. Okay, now the key bit of information here is that the line has to be at right angles to the line AB. So by extension, if I know the gradient of AB, if I know this gradient here, then I can flip it and change the sign to get the gradient of the line that I want. Okay, so the gradient of AB is going to be 3 subtract 8 over 9 subtract negative 1. That's negative 5, that's 10, so it's negative a half. So the gradient of the perpendicular has to be positive 2 over 1 or just 2, since negative a half times 2 is negative 1. Okay, and that's you done. That's you done all the hard stuff now. The gradient is 2, is y is equal the 0.40, so y minus 0 is equal to 2 bracket x minus 4. Okay, so y minus 0 is just y, and then just take out the brackets, y equals 2x minus 8. Okay, so that is the equation of this altitude here. Okay, and if you can understand that the altitude is leaves C, crosses a triangle, opposite sides at right angles. That's all you need to know. Okay, again, it's just a different definition and uses stuff you already have in your locker. Okay, there is your note. Okay, I'm going to do the example with you, but copy that down, pause it, copy it down. Okay, cheers. Now this example is slightly different, okay, but the idea is exactly the same. Okay, we've been given a triangle RST, find the equation of the altitude from R, where R is 3, 5, and ST has equation y plus 5x minus 1. So I'll just use this triangle here, just as it's there. So I'm looking for the altitude from R, so the dotted line leaves R and comes across. I know R is 3, 5, and I know the equation here is y plus 5x minus 1 equals 0. Okay, so I'm looking for the equation of a straight line. Brilliant, I know down here, I know at the end somewhere I'm going to be using y minus b, which means I'm going to need a gradient and I'm going to need a point. For that dotted line, the point R is already on that dotted line, so I don't need to worry about a point. I just need to worry about the gradient. Now, what I know about this line, important fact about altitude, is that it's at right angles to this line here. So for the gradient of ST, I don't have 2 points to use, but I do know the equation, y plus 5x minus 1 equals 0. And I know that from an equation I can lift it out if it's y equals. So subtract 5x and add 1 to both sides. The gradient of ST has to be negative 5 there because that's what's in front of the x. Okay, which means the gradient of the perpendicular is positive 1/5. Okay, now obviously it's not going to fit this drawing, I'll just use that because it was there. Okay, and that's since negative 5 times 1/5 is equal to negative 1. Okay, so the gradient is 1/5. This is your point, so it's y minus 5 is equal to 1/5 x minus 3 times both sides by 5, with 5y minus 25 is equal to x minus 3, and just add 25 to both sides. So 5y is x plus 22. There's your equation of a straight line in the simplest form. Okay, that's the equation of altitude. Okay, and again, I'm going to give you a wee recipe. There's the recipe if you want to copy that down as well. You need the gradient to the opposite side, like we've done here. You need to invert the gradient and change the sign to get the perpendicular gradient, the one at the altitude, and then you're just using an equation of a straight line. Nothing new, just pulling together some stuff into a new idea. Okay, I shall teach you if you need a hand. Cheers.